Who sabotaged the Nord Stream pipelines in the Baltic Sea near the Danish Isle of Bornholm? The United States and Europe, along with Ukraine, insist that it was Russia, while Russia and others point the finger straight back at the US. The answer is not as obvious as first appears. Hi, everyone, and welcome back to Stormwall.com. I'm Mike Wilkerson, the founder of Stormwall and the author of the upcoming book, Why America Matters. I wanted to jump on quickly and share some thoughts with you around the situation, apparently state-sponsored sabotage that is going to have grave consequences as we go into the winter months. As a starting point, it's helpful to consider who wins and who loses in this situation, with the long-term incapacitation of what is roughly 110 billion cubic meters of combined annual capacity of gas from Russia to Germany. Who benefits from cutting off a key source of Russian state revenue, as well as a key source of energy supply to Western Europe? Russia's motivations for self-sabotage are less than obvious. So Russia loses not only a substantial portion of its revenue, desperately needed to support the costly war in Ukraine and maintain its stagnating domestic economy, but most of its operating leverage with the West was tied up in those pipelines. Russia's ability to cut off or restart the flow of gas was its most important hole card at the poker table, if you will, with Germany and the European Union. Indeed, at the end of August 2022, Russia suspended all deliveries of gas through Nord Stream 1 due to maintenance requirements in order to pressurize the situation with the West. Now, while Nord Stream 2 was not yet certified by the EU and was delivering no gas, it was complete and pressurized and could have been brought online once a negotiated settlement to the war was reached. Now, it's true Russia can divert some gas to China, but not that much due to existing capacity constraints. Russia exports a mere 16 billion cubic meters of gas to China, with another 10 million of capacity under development, but not available for at least the next 2 years. In contrast, Russia shipped 3 times that amount, roughly 48 billion cubic meters, to Germany alone before the invasion of Ukraine. On October 2nd, 2022, just a couple of days ago, and less than a week after the sabotage, Russia suspended gas shipments to Italy due to transport problems in Austria, which is a euphemism for the sanctions effects on financial flows, ratcheting up the leverage on Italy and the West. Now, last year, Italy imported 95% of all of its gas needs, and Russia comprised 45% of that, equivalent to about 26 billion cubic meters. So it is true that Russia appears to be more than willing to sacrifice short-term revenue for the long-term strategic game it's playing. But to intentionally destroy something that it already had in its control appears to make little sense, even in a Machiavellian construct of devious minds within the Kremlin. The regional territorial conflict initiated by Russia's invasion of Ukraine has just escalated dramatically into something with global implications. While it seems terrible to even contemplate the possibility, the United States appears to have both motive and the most to gain from the situation. The economic interest to the U.S. of supplanting Russia as the primary gas supplier to European energy markets are obvious. The geopolitical interests of a weakened Russian state similarly align. And the U.S. has long been opposed to development of Nord Stream 2 on grounds that it would increase Germany's dependence on Russia and diminish U.S. influence. Now, German ministers roundly mocked former U.S. President Donald Trump when he warned at the 2018 UN General Assembly of the grave energy security risks that Russia posed to Germany and by implication to the entire European Union. And none of those ministers are laughing now. In February of this year, President Biden promised to end Nord Stream 2 if Russia invaded Ukraine. In June 2022, the New York Times reported that the CIA had warned European governments of potential attacks on pipelines, alerts which may have been repeated in the weeks prior to the sabotage, and again, conveniently leaked to mainstream media for effect. Most tellingly, though, less than a week following the attacks, U.S. Secretary of State Anthony Blinken perhaps inadvertently, laid out the case for the benefit of the situation to the U.S. while denying Russian President Putin's accusations of U.S. involvement. Secretary Blinken stated that the situation creates a, quote, tremendous opportunity to once and for all remove Europe's dependence on Russia's energy and thus to take away from Vladimir Putin the weaponization of energy as a means of advancing his imperial designs. He further declared that the U.S. stood to benefit from the shifting landscape, noting, "We significantly increased our production as well as making available to Europe liquefied natural gas. And we're now the leading supplier of LNG to Europe to help compensate for any gas or oil that it's losing as a result of Russia's aggression against Ukraine." Okay, well enough. A secondary question is, who has the expertise and the technology to pull this off undetected? The size of the attack, the size of the explosions, the amount of materials used, the technical challenges of a submarine attack, including the ability to sort of quietly slip in and slip out of patrolled waters, appear to rule out a number of potential suspects or persons of interest, including Ukraine, environmental extremists, or a hidden cabal of powerful anarchists or WEF globalists. However, any of China, Russia, or the United States, along with others, certainly have the know-how, including advanced submarine technology, to pull this off in coordination with others with similar interests. So needless to say, I have no idea who is responsible. It's an important question. Perhaps it really was Russia, and Putin is playing just a very complicated and counterintuitive game that defies both logic and common sense. And perhaps we'll learn the answer as the investigation continue, although it's hard to imagine how those could be viewed as independent or objective in any case. Perhaps it will, like so many other disturbing recent events, remain hidden behind a veil of deception and secrecy. In any case, something is terribly rotten in Denmark, and the stench emitting from the dark quarters of state-sponsored covert warfare is reaching to the heavens. This event marks a new escalation in war by other means. The stakes are now much higher for everyone, but especially for Russia and Germany. Well, I explore this and other related topics in my new book, Why America Matters, coming out with Post Hill Press at the end of October 2022. If you benefited from this message, you're interested in learning more, head over to whyamericamatters.com, where you'll be able to pre-order a copy at a discount. And please, as always, don't forget to give this video a like and share it. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. Don't forget to turn on the notifications bell to keep up to date on all the stuff that's coming out. And as always, all of my videos, my writings, and other information is available at stormwell.com. If you haven't already signed up there, your email to get a weekly newsletter. It's a great idea. We send out stuff. We send out articles, videos almost every week on timely issues. Hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for being with me again today, and we'll see you soon here on stormwell.com.